Beautiful souls, welcome to another video. This video is one that I've been working on for a minute. I want to talk about why lightworkers may feel targeted. And before we get into it, let's talk about what a lightworker is. A quick Google search will give you the definition of someone who actively chooses to bring positive energy, whether that be love, healing, into the world, Someone who consciously works with their own positive energy, their own light, to make the world brighter. That's a light worker. Now, these people who are consciously working with their own light to bring positivity into this world, there's certain things that they experience, certain things that they're exposed to. There's a certain aspect of their vibration that they need to be aware of. So if you identify as a light worker, this video will be very helpful to you. And with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. Why light workers may feel targeted. Reason number one. You got to understand that when you're choosing to be and operate from a position of love, love is the highest vibration. So anywhere that you go, your aura is going to cause an energetic disruption. Anywhere that you go, any room that you enter into, by default, your aura is forcing dense, negative, stagnant energy to move. If you walk into a place where things have been a certain way, by your energy, by just your presence, people will begin to get defensive because they'll see that things have to change. And part of that change stems from your light reflecting truth, which leads us directly into reason number two. Why some light workers may feel targeted is because their light reflects truth. And that pushes others to have to confront their shadow. That pushes others to potentially have to deal with their resistance to healing, their resistance to shadow work. And some people may not be ready for it. That can definitely lead to a lot of reactive behavior from uncomfortable people who are just unsure about how to handle difficult emotions that arise simply as a result of your presence. Now, for the light worker, they're seeing all of this and they're feeling sometimes the unfair projections that people make about them, because it can be difficult for others to figure out who the light worker actually is. They know that there's something different about them. They know that there's something that is just unique, something that draws attention to them, but they can't put their finger on it and they want to know why. So they project certain things onto you and they treat you a certain way as a result of those unfair projections. Understand that your light is reflecting truth and they're confronting their shadow. Reason number 3. You, as a light worker, may feel you've been targeted because of your underlying mission. See, you may have the underlying task of uncovering hidden truths, dissolving illusions, dismantling systemic deceptions wherever it is that you find yourself. Now, this may be overt in the manner of you actually consciously directing things and speaking up in certain areas, or it could be completely subconscious where your energy is doing all the work and source is placing thoughts in the mind of others simply as a result of them looking at how you move. See, the benefiting forces may view whoever the light worker is as a threat if they're benefiting from the negative energy of a space, and now a light worker has come in to dismantle and replace that previous negative energy. Whatever force is benefiting will definitely see you as a threat, and that's simply due to your underlying mission. Reason number 4. A light worker may feel targeted due to certain karmic tests and growth opportunities being presented to them. See, for a light worker, feeling like they're targeted presents the perfect obstacle for their soul growth. It presents the perfect opportunity for them to exercise what it is that they're proclaiming to be. How did we define a light worker? Someone consciously working with their own positive energy to make the world brighter. You're not a light worker if you're not willing to step into the dark. The challenge that you face invites you to strengthen your own resilience and expand your spiritual mastery. So perhaps you haven't been all in on your daily practices. Perhaps there's certain things that you've just been slacking a bit on. This is the time to tighten up. The growth opportunities in front of you opens the door for a deeper connection to a higher purpose. Meaning, should you take on this challenge and find the tools necessary, find and use the tools necessary for your growth, you will begin to see all around you synchronicities that show you that not only are you on the right path, but Source is communicating directly with you. Almost as if the creator of the entire universe has turned their face directly to your face and is speaking directly to you about how much you are loved. Reason number 5. Energetic sensitivity. You have to understand that we are one. And just as sometimes it can feel like Source is using the entire universe to communicate directly with you, it's also important to understand that Source exists within you, as you. And because Source exists within you, as you, there's certain things that will awaken within you as you raise your vibration. And that's your energetic sensitivity. As a light worker, you may find that you're highly empathetic. You may fall into certain categories such as an empath or a highly sensitive person. You may consider yourself to be psychic to a certain degree. Your nature is sensitivity to the energy around you. That in itself makes you more aware of negative vibrations or negative thought forms around you. This can lead to a light worker feeling more targeted in an environment where anyone else would be completely unaffected. And that's the key that you have to remember when you walk into a place and it feels almost overwhelmingly depressing. Understand that just because that's how the energy was when you arrived doesn't mean that that's how the energy is going to be now that you're here. Reason number 6. I touched on this a bit in reason number 1. As a light worker, you tend to disrupt the status quo. And that can lead to a lot of light workers feeling like they're targeted, especially when your underlying mission causes you to dissolve illusions, raise consciousness in certain places. As a light worker, you tend to raise collective consciousness and promote transformation wherever it is that you are. As a result, you present a challenge to norms, traditions, and structures and the people who uphold them. That has to lead to some form of resistance. That's the law. So any resistance that you see stemming from your disruption of a status quo, especially if all you're doing is being you, you have to see through and understand the spiritual aspects of what's taking place. The resistance that you feel from individuals or groups are just a disruption in the status quo, like sand at the bottom of a pond that's been stirred. The chaos that's formed will settle and things will be transformed. Reason 7. Polarity dynamics. I touched on this just a bit in the last reason, and that is that the law is such that everything is dualistic in nature. Everything is seeking balance. By law, the light attracts the dark, and the dark, the light, so on and so forth. As a light worker, you may feel targeted simply because you are a point of origin for light. You are a point of origin for dark. And you being that yin or yang pole means that that opposite pole is magnetized to you. This can manifest as interference or attacks from negative entities looking to dim your light or dim your energy. But understand that the source of all things exists within you. There's nothing outside of you that could ever harm the God within. And that is 7 reasons why a light worker may feel targeted. Now, I really hope that you got something out of this video. Talked about a lot, from energetic disruptions to the fact that your light reflects truth, to what your potential underlying mission could be, to the karmic tests and growth opportunities from being targeted, your energetic sensitivity, how a light worker will disrupt the status quo, and of course, polarity dynamics of the law. If you enjoy this content, want to see more like it, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, and I'll keep them coming. And with that, I want you to know I love you. I want to see the fullest expression of you. This is the spark.